America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Hey, I'm late this morning. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in wherever you're tuning in. Hello, TikTok. Sorry I'm late, TikTok. Sorry I'm late, everybody. I was doing what I enjoy doing more than anything. I was speaking to a classroom full of college students. Oh my God, I just love that. Answering their questions. They were so damn curious about where America is politically right now. Their concerns, their fears, and everybody listening right now, it was a classroom, a pretty diverse classroom across the political spectrum. But young people right now are very concerned about where things are in this country right now. And I just spent about 45 minutes with them. I loved it. I love speaking to college kids. Just adore. So that's why I'm late right now. And I apologize. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Let's get right into it. What is today? Wednesday, Tuesday, Friday. It's Thursday. Former Congressman Joe Walsh with you. I want to start like this. This is a gang. This isn't who we are. No. You can be as tough on people in this country illegally as you want, but this ain't who we are. You can say we got to secure and defend the border every bit as much as I will, but this is not what America is. You can say, man, you come here and you engage in terrorism, whatever. You can say we got too many people in this country who are here illegally. You can say whatever, but what's going on right now is not who we are. Right now, in America right now, this is not who we are. In America right now, we are snatching people from their homes in the middle of the night. In America right now, we are grabbing people off of the streets. In America right now, we are denying people entry into this country. This is going on right now. Our government right now, every single day, is grabbing people and detaining people without any charges. Why are they doing this? Why are they grabbing people? By the way, news flash, TikTok, our government is doing this. This is happening in the United States of America. This isn't happening in Russia or China or Hungary or Turkey or North Korea. This is going on right now. A couple of days ago, right now, the government in unmarked cars, without any government uniform, official law enforcement uniform, anything on them, grabbed a woman walking on the street, threw her into a car, flew her out of her state, and for 24 hours, nobody knew where she was. This is happening right now in this country. Why? I say it's un-American. I say it's not who we are. This can't happen here. Why are people being apprehended? Why are people being grabbed? Why are people being snatched? Why are people being denied entry into this country? Because of their views. Because of their beliefs. So when I say this isn't America, that's what I mean. Grab somebody off the streets because they committed a crime. Grab somebody, knock on somebody's door, right? tear the door down because they committed a violent crime, they killed somebody, whatever, fine, right? I'm not talking about that. We're grabbing people. Our government, your government, my government right now is grabbing people based on what they said, based on what their views are, based on what their beliefs are. That's not America. That's not the land of the free, home of the brave. That's not the land of free speech. That's not America. No due process, no charges. We're just grabbing people. It's gotten to the point, TikTok, it's gotten to the point where in Trump's America, and that's what we are right now, in Trump's America, you better watch what you say. Think about that. In Trump's America, in Donald Trump's America, you better watch what you say? That doesn't sound like America, right? That people got to watch what they say, people got to watch how they think, people got to watch what their beliefs are because they might get grabbed, snagged, snatched up by our government because of what you believe. I say that to myself out loud and I think, in Trump's America, you better watch what you say. That's like the antithesis of America. This is the country. This is the country that's always had more free speech than any other country on the planet. What do you mean I got to watch what I say? I'm in this country. This is America. Screw that, right? That's not the America I'm going to live in. I want to live in. And again, this goes to no matter that you voted for Donald Trump because you want him to be tough on the border and go after people who are in this country illegally, or go after people who are protesting against Israel or protesting against American policies. Oh my God, even if that's where you are and that's what you want, do you want to live in a country? Do you want to live in a country where the government can grab you out of your bed and hold you and detain you against your will without any due process, any charges, based on what you believe? Based on what you believe? You want to live in that country? I'm sure you've heard about the latest, this Tufts University student. Thanks, Keith. Tufts grad student. She's a 30-year-old Turkish national. She's in this country on a valid F1 visa. She's a graduate student at Tufts University. She was quite literally grabbed off the streets yesterday or 2 days ago, walking down the street by undercover ICE agents who grabbed her, threw her in a car, not to be heard from for 24 hours. Nobody knew where she was for 24 hours. This is all, by the way, part of the unconstitutional executive order, one of the unconstitutional executive orders that Trump signed early on, where he pledged to deport all non-citizens involved in pro-Palestinian protests. That executive order will be ruled unconstitutional. Keith, do we have any of the footage of her being grabbed? I don't know if we do. If we do, throw it up there. If not, no worries. Just grabbed off the streets. It's all over the internet. You can see it. Because of what she believes. And I want to remind you, she's not a citizen of this country. She's a student. She's here on a valid visa, 30-year-old. She co-authored a piece um, a year ago calling on toughs to divest from Israel. So let's be really clear about this. And this is happening every day. This is just the latest. A 30-year-old student in this country legally, was grabbed by our government because she's anti-Israel. And she's anti our policies in the Middle East. Again, I'm just asking you, MAGA, is that the kind of country you want to live in? Because she's anti-Israel, she's here on a valid visa because she's anti-Israel, our government can grab her and get her the hell out of this country. Is that what you want to live in? And I always feel like I need to say this at the outset. I am off the charts pro-Israel. I'll say something provocative here. I'm more pro-Israel than anybody listening to me right now. Most people get angry at me because I'm so pro-Israel. But you have a right in America to march and protest against the state of Israel. You have a right in America, like this Tufts University student did, to co-author a piece criticizing Israel, criticizing America's policy toward Israel, advocating that Tufts University, her school, divest from Israel. You have a right to say that. I would, as pro-Israel as I am, I would defend any American citizen's right. I would defend any legal resident of this country's right. I would defend anybody in this country here on a student visa. I would defend their right to scream and holler and protest against the state of Israel. No charges against this woman have been filed. By the way, no charges have still been filed against Mahmoud Khalil, who was apprehended out of his bed in the middle of the night 3 weeks ago and is still being held against his will. Still no charges from our government against him. Every day right now, in America right now, we are getting people who are anti-Israel, who are pro-Palestinian, being grabbed by our government because of those views. That's not America. Because of their views, that's not America. And I again, I know, hi, Air Sea Rail, is the chat function disabled? No, chat function just fine. Say whatever you want to say. I just got to get something off my chest right now. I need to remind often everybody listening to me just about, some basic facts. You are an American citizen. You have a right to due process in this country. If you are a legal permanent resident, if you are a green card holder, you have the constitutional right to due process in this country. You do. If you are just here on a student visa in this country, you still have a right to due process. I'll do you one better, MAGA. It's the law, it's the Constitution. If you're a dangerous Venezuelan gang member who entered this country illegally, you know what? You still, per our Constitution, our law, you have a right to due process. So just on that alone, everything Trump is doing right now, deporting people because they're pro-Palestinian, Everything Trump is doing right now is unconstitutional. These people being grabbed out of their beds, this woman at Tufts University yesterday being grabbed off the streets, zero due process. But they have a right to free speech every bit as much as I do, Joe Walsh, American citizen. They have a right to be anti-Israel. They have a right. People in this country protesting against Israel, people here on student visas, they have a right, a constitutional right to protest against the state of Israel. And by the way, MAGA, Trump supporters, are you that soft? TikTok, are Trump supporters that soft? So easily offended that you can't handle people in this country who think differently? You can't handle people in this country who are anti-Israel? We're talking about speech. We're talking about expressing views, expressing beliefs. We're not talking about people committing crimes. These people that Donald Trump is apprehending right now, trying to deport students all over the country every day. These people are not being grabbed, snatched, apprehended, and detained because they committed crimes. No charges are being filed against these people. They are being grabbed and apprehended based on what they believe. And by the way, it doesn't stop there. A few days ago, did you hear this one? A French scientist trying to come into this country. He had his legal paperwork to come into this country. He was denied entry into this country because he's pro-Palestinian. Had all the legal paperwork. He was legally able to come here. 3 days ago, he was denied entry because of his beliefs, because he's anti-Israel. Tom Grunla. Hey, Joe, you're a prime example of TDS. You just want to make Trump look bad. We got to go after dangerous criminals. Hey, Tom Grunla. I'm right there with you going after dangerous criminals. I'm right there with you, Tom. I'm right there with you. And I don't know if I got TDS. I don't know what TDS is. I'm right there with you, though. Grab violent criminals who are in this country illegally. Amen, amen. Grab them. But Tom Grunla explained to me how a 30-year-old graduate student here legally writes a paper critical of Israel. Tell me, Tom Grunla, how she's a violent criminal. Your government, Tom, grabbed her off the streets because she wrote this article. Tell me, Tom. Oh, tell me, oh wise one. Tell me, buddy boy. That's a dangerous criminal? It's at one level, I want to shake Trump supporters and wake them up and say, really? You're going to be such snowflakes? Because I remember a time a few years back when I'm on conservative talk radio and I used to make fun of the left. Remember, because the left on college campuses back in the day, they would protest and disinvite conservative speakers. They didn't want speakers on campus who disagreed with them. Remember, the left was that way. They didn't want speakers on campus who made them uncomfortable. And remember, we'd call them snowflakes. and they needed their safe spaces. Remember that? Oh, I can remember going after them almost every day on my talk radio show. We live in a country right now where the biggest snowflakes, the biggest crybabies, the biggest, oh, I can't handle speech I disagree with. These people now are on the right, are on the right. The snowflakes, the easily offended snowflakes now are on the MAGA right. You can't support apprehending and trying to deport a legal resident of this country based on her beliefs. If you're an American who believes in free speech, you can't support that. Denying the ability of people to come here legally because of their beliefs. Now, let's just be real. This policy of Trump, what he's doing right now, here's the thing, it's going on all the time. People are being detained right now and held right now against their will all the time based on their beliefs. This is going on every day. Eventually, courts are going to rule against Trump's executive order, against his policy of deporting pro-Palestinian student protesters. That's an utterly unconstitutional, un-American policy. But each and every one of these students who are being detained, their lawyers now are going to court immediately, and they're getting their deportations stayed, and they're going to have their day in court, even though the Trump administration does not want them to have their day in court. And that's why we've got to talk about stuff like this, to bring attention to this, because this is not the America we want to live in. But we need the courts to hold, and the courts to rule that you can't grab and deport students, college students, because of what they believe. You can't do that in America. This is a constant refrain of mine. And I'll close on this. I'll close with this. I'll take the student protests, right? The student protests that have been going on since October 7th. Protest is good in America. Peaceful protest is good. I'm very pro-Israel, but you have a right to peacefully protest in this country in support of Hamas. You do. A designated terrorist group. You have a right in America, and I'm pro-Israel, but I will defend your right in America to peacefully protest in support of Hamas. And so you do. And you have a right to protest against the state of Israel. You do. People here on student visas have a right to do that. You do. And I'll defend their right until the cows come home. This is just, Trump is a dangerous, ugly overreaction to, look, a lot of these colleges have been damn lenient in not allowing speech, but in allowing vandalism and crimes. Right? Columbia, a lot of these colleges have been way too permissive in what they've allowed these protesters to do, because on many of the college campuses, it moved well beyond peaceful speech. Crimes were committed. Property damage was committed. That's a crime. Vandalism was committed. That's a crime. Preventing Jewish students from entering certain buildings on campus. That is a crime. That can never be allowed. That's not speech. So because a lot of the colleges were just way too lenient, Trump takes advantage of that, and the pendulum, and he gets elected, painting with that broad brush. And now Trump is the opposite extreme. Okay. The colleges were too lenient in what they allowed. So now we're going to deport people based on what they believe. We're going to deport anybody who's pro-Palestinian. You talk about an ugly, dangerous overreaction. That's where we are now. And as always, just like the issue with immigration, most Americans are in the common sense middle. You're here, you're a citizen, you're a resident, you're here on a student visa, you have a right to due process and you have a right to peacefully protest. End of story. That's where most Americans are. You commit a crime, you do something worse than that, man, that's a whole different story. That's where most Americans are right here. And now with Trump, we are way, way over here. Way, way over here. And a lot of this stuff will get overturned, but damage is being done right now. Larry Kent, get a job, commie boy. MAGA. I just love comments like that. So because I believe in free speech, Larry Kent calls me a commie. Just think about the irony of that. Because I believe in free speech, MAGA, and he proudly said he's MAGA, calls me a communist. Larry, I'm willing to wager that even you, my friend, see the crazy irony in a statement like that. Talk to me, Larry, about free speech in communist countries. I got to show you this one other thing. Keith, do we have Kristi Noem?
I also want everybody to know, if you come to
Head
our
of
country
Homeland
illegally,
Security.
this is one of the consequences
Thanks.
you could face. First of all, do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed and you will be prosecuted. But know that this facility...
That's enough, Keith. Is that... Thanks. That was Kristi Noem yesterday, down in El Salvador, in front of at that hard labor prison down in El Salvador, one of the most dangerous prisons in the world down in El Salvador. And that's Kristi Noem, the head of DHS, down there in front of one of the giant prison cells where you can see hundreds of these tattooed prisoners. And there she stands, talking to Americans, trying to scare Americans. I would remind Kristi Noem and everybody listening to me, American citizens are in that prison camp right now. People who came to this country legally, our government threw into that prison right now. Remember, a weekend or so ago, Trump's putting all the Venezuelan gang members on planes. Remember when Trump did that? Oops, he made a bunch of mistakes. And he put people on those planes who were not Venezuelan gang members. He put people on those planes who were legal, law-abiding Americans. He put people on those planes who were like a day or two away from having their asylum claim heard. They weren't Venezuelan gang members, but we don't care about that, do we, Larry and all the rest? Throw them all, throw them all. It's like Trump came out a couple of days ago and Donald Trump, remember, said, the president of the United States said, if you are committing acts of terror against Tesla, we should throw you in that El Salvador prison. An American president actually said that. But this is the only point I wanted to make. That shot of Kristi Noem looking all tough and pretty and standing in front of all of these bad prisoners down in El Salvador. That picture there. Thank you, Lisa Gonzalez. I'm not afraid to say the truth. It's time we said the truth. All of us said the truth. It's the performative cruelty. I looked at that shot of Kristi Noem and I thought, performative cruelty. This is all about performance. and being performative and having the pictures where you look really tough and you're down in there in El Salvador and you're saying to everybody, man, if you come into this country illegally, we're throwing you here. Look at me. Look at how tough I am. The performative cruelty. And I think about, because I come from MAGA world and because I was MAGA, I would engage in some of this performative cruelty. Why? Because it works. It sells. Too many people in this country love the cruelty. I'm seeing it right now with people listening to this podcast right now. They don't give a flying fuck if we're apprehending people off the streets because of what they believe. The cruelty sells. And I say this, look, the left in America has their issues. Oh, big time do they have their issues. The left in America has got problems and they got to get their act together. But coming from the right like I do, man, the right's got issues too. And one of the big issues that the right really needs to take a look at is cruelty sells on the right. Being a jerk sells on the right. Being an asshole sells on the right. It's a big part of Trump's appeal, right? Trump is an utterly cruel person, but his supporters love it. What does that say? And I'll speak to Trump supporters about this. What does that say that you're cheering on abject cruelty? That you're willing to throw free speech away and throw the Constitution away and throw the rule of law away as long as you're getting back, as long as you're tough, as long as you're being cruel and picking up people in this country illegally and throwing them out of here. You don't care about anything else. It's why the big popular voices on the MAGA right, of which I'm no longer one of them, it's why they do what Kristi Noem did yesterday. They show you the performative cruelty because they know it works. They know it sells on the right. They know people on the right want to hear it and see it. And based on what they've told me, it's the people on the right have felt beaten and down and defeated for so long. They want somebody. They want a bunch of somebodies to fucking punch back, fight back, kick back. And they don't care if they're people fighting back, punching back, and kicking back are ugly, mean, and cruel and or unconstitutional and all the rest. They don't care about the cruelty. They feel like they've been victimized for so long. They just want a son of a bitch. They want people who are going to be cruel assholes. Kind of like just revenge. Getting back. That's what I hear a lot of. I'm going to stop there, Keith. No kings in America, everybody. No kings in America. If you want to join the No Kings movement, go to oneflaginitiative.org. Oneflaginitiative.org. It's all one word. Go there, sign up, join me in the No Kings movement. We don't have kings in America. Second thing I want to throw at you is, if you want to email me about anything, do The Social Contract with Joe Walsh at gmail.com. All one word, The Social Contract with Joe Walsh at gmail.com. Shoot me an email. Final thing, I'm on Substack. I've got a Substack. If you like me on this podcast, if you like following me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, you would love me on Substack. You'd love the stuff we put out on Substack. Just go check it out. Social Contract with Joe Walsh. That's my Substack. Social Contract with Joe Walsh. Check it out. Love y'all. Have a good day. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract